welcome to Friendship and Joy with Karen and Suzanne. I'm Karen.
And I'm Suzanne.
And today we are going to talk about the fact that we actually have other hobbies too, other than knitting and crocheting.
Yeah, we've got way too many hobbies.
Yeah.
Can you have too many way too many hobbies?
No. Hobbies are good. Hobbies are good for your brain, for your soul, for everything. It's good to have other
It's like
hobbies.
your best friend.
Yeah, and it gives you joy, right? So we have talked a little bit, since I'm allergic, and I'm allergic right now, actually. It's probably from Pablo, yeah. But I am, I cannot have pets, so I do have aquariums that I tend to. And I've talked about this in the past, and I do...
You're very passionate.
It's a hobby of mine, and it started, funny enough.
Yeah, how did it start?
Growing up in Sweden in the 70s, pretty much everybody had an aquarium, and I don't think anybody took care of them properly. But I grew up having aquariums, and I liked it. And then I got out of it, didn't think anything of it. Dominic and I, when we were just moved in together way back when, we had an aquarium actually, and we didn't know anybody. We stuck 2 big goldfish in a tiny aquarium, and we couldn't figure out why they died. So we gave up that one. And my husband, he thinks fish is for eating, not to keep. And I'm saying the opposite. Fish are your friend. But anyways, so what happened was, gosh, I would say maybe 6 years ago now, or so, 5-6 years ago, my niece
I remember.
had a little
right.
betta fish, and then she said she was gonna move into a new apartment or whatever, and she didn't want to she wasn't gonna be able to care for the fish, so she asked me, she said, "Auntie Karen, do you want to take my fish?" It was a little betta named Larry, a crown-tailed betta, and I said, "Yeah, I'll take your fish." So I brought the fish home in a little tiny bowl, basically, that day. I just took it home with me, and sat and held him in the car like this. And then I came home and I said, "Okay, now what do I do? How do you care for a fish?" I have no idea. I just had him in a bowl, and I knew that wasn't gonna, that's not how you keep a fish. I knew I had to look into it. So I had to educate myself on the spot on how
Boy, did she look into it.
Oh, I got in. So once I got into it, I realized that, okay, bowl is out of the question. You can't keep a betta in the bowl. You need to have a filtered, heated aquarium and the whole bit. And I read up everything I could on that little... and that little fish lived with me he didn't live for that long. Probably because he was kept in a bowl for a while, maybe. But after he died, passed away, I immediately went out and I bought a new betta. His name was Moses, and he lived for over 3 years, I think. I loved my little Moses. He was such a good little fish.
Yeah.
I loved him. And then after that, since that day, I've had bettas, and now Moses is now no longer with us. So my latest one is called Lancelot, and he's absolutely gorgeous. He's just a regular veil-tailed betta, nothing fancy, but he's so pretty. I love him. And then from there, it got me excited and interested in starting up a larger aquarium, a 30-gallon, where I have plants, friendly community fish and plants.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's one of my hobbies. So it gives me pleasure. I like taking care of them. I don't take care of them as much as I used to, since I have my guy coming to do it, but that's something I enjoy to do.
Yeah, it looks very spectacular. You're going to get to see it.
Now, Suzanne, you have hobbies too.
I do. I have, oh my gosh. I have, years ago I started doing stained glass. I thoroughly enjoy that, but I don't
I
do that as
remember
much.
that. No, that
Yeah.
was a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't do that as much, but it was really good for me because stained
Yeah.
glass, you have to be very relaxed, and you have to be very,
Why do you have to be relaxed?
because if you're not relaxed when you do stained glass, you're gonna make so many mistakes.
Oh.
So it's really an art, and of course with anything that you do, there's techniques, but for me it really taught me how to focus and relax and there's some hard movements that you have to make.
Mm-hmm.
So stained glass, believe it or not, taught me a lot, and I made some really fun pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them I gave away.
Yeah.
I don't have very much left, but I highly recommend doing stained glass. It's a lot of fun.
Did you cut yourself a lot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
Because that would scare me.
You have all of your, you've got your glass, you've got your books, you've got any accessories, and then you always have a box of Band-Aids.
Oh, box of
Yeah,
of
because
course.
you will cut yourself. That's just the way it is. Very
Yeah.
sharp.
Yeah.
Very, very sharp.
That could end really badly.
And photography,
Mm.
most of my relatives are very artsy, and a lot of them actually are artists. They paint.
Mhm.
Somehow.
Your mother?
Yeah, my
paints?
mother's an artist. Somehow that I cannot even draw a stick. person.
You can draw a stick.
No, I love art, but I'm not artsy that way, unfortunately.
Mm.
But no, I love,
Crafting.
yeah. But yeah, so I
So
do
stained
love
glass.
photography.
Yes.
That's another form of expression of, I guess.
Suzanne is the one that takes all the beautiful pictures on our Instagram account. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Friendship and Joy on Instagram. You take a lot of beautiful
Thank you.
pictures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoy
Yeah.
photography, and of course horseback riding.
Oh,
I haven't
I forgot about that.
ridden in a while because I did sustain a back injury.
Mhm.
Actually, I did fall off the horse and hurt myself
Ay.
pretty bad. But
Yeah.
I would really, once I retire and get some time to myself, I would love to horseback ride. Such a great
Do you do English
way.
style or cowboy? Western, I guess is to call
Yeah.
it, not cowboy.
Cowboy
Western.
style.
Cowboy.
The
Yeah.
last
Western?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Western. A lot of fun. I went, actually, there's a place in Pickering, they do reining. It's a form of Western riding.
Okay.
If you've ever seen, you might have seen horses when they trot or gallop and
Mhm.
they stop on a dime. That's called reining. That's not all that reining is about, but that is a form of Western riding, and it's a lot of fun. So I'd really like to get back into that,
Yeah.
but I have to heal my back first.
Yeah. Aren't you afraid? They're so big.
No, I'm not afraid of horses.
No.
No, it's all about, horses are such intelligent creatures, and they will observe you,
Mm-hmm.
and if you were afraid, they will be afraid.
Yeah, I mean they can
Yeah.
smell the fear on you or whatever.
They actually can.
Yeah.
And they will test you, of course. And then I absolutely love, and by no means am I the greatest rider, but I thoroughly enjoyed my
it.
time. That connection between horse and human is a connection that once you get into that is non-describable. I thoroughly, just being around horses
Yeah.
is a great, it can actually be very spiritual, to be honest with you. It's really fantastic.
Everybody that I know who is into riding say the same thing, how much they get out of it. The joy of bonding with a horse and having that relationship. It's something I've never experienced because I've never been able to come near one.
And to be honest with you, that's what it is. It's a bonding experience, because
Yeah.
the horse and you, if you are, and I'm not saying that you have to be a great rider, but that connection
Yeah.
you can get. You don't have to be the greatest rider, because the horse will take you where you need to be in terms of if you want to go there or not. So if you are an aggressive rider, for example, and the horse doesn't respond to you, the horse will teach you a lot about yourself.
So basically, calm down, buddy.
Yes.
Okay, let's chill a little bit.
So if you're into self insight or want to learn about yourself, I highly suggest you take up horseback riding, because it can be very traumatic.
Yeah.
And it can be very inspiring. It's really up to you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've also taken a liking to bake sourdough bread. So that's
That is fantastic.
I did.
We all love that she took that hobby.
My husband
Her
not so
whole
much.
family.
No, Dominic says no. Gosh, you baked again. My pants are getting tight.
Yeah.
But it's what I like about baking. Yeah, I set my own sourdough. It was actually my friend's brother who got me inspired to start one, because he had set one at the cottage. I tasted that bread and I'm like, ooh, this is really good. How do you do this? And then I had to figure out and learn everything there was to start a sourdough starter. And I thought it was so fascinating that you can get this bacteria, yeast and whatever, to grow from nothing but flour. It is around us everywhere. This yeast is all over. So to cultivate and to grow it from nothing but water and flour, basically. And I start off mine with a little bit of pineapple juice to get the sugar going. The fermentation process starts, and to keep that alive. And the longer you keep it alive for, the better and stronger the yeast performs for you. And it is alive, so you can tell that some days the sourdough gets hungry faster and needs a little bit more food one day, just like...
Sounds really bizarre.
It's like a pet, really. And depending on, it is the environment, it is the temperature, it's the humidity in the air, it is where you keep it. It has to do with a lot of different things. And some days it performs well, and other days it performs very well. So it is alive, like anybody.
There's a lot of factors involved.
Yeah, I like that. And I've learned a lot from my aquarium hobby about how good bacteria is essential for everything in life. You need good bacteria in your gut. You need good bacteria around you. If you strip and everything is clinically clean around you, you're going to end up sick, because there is a time and a place to be clinical and sterile, and that's in the hospital. Yeah. But in your home, it should not be sterile. You should clean. You should wash and shower every day, but you don't have to use antibacterial soap.
We won't find sanitizer in your home.
No.
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 None in mine either.
The only time I use hand sanitizer is if I'm out, and when I went to Rome and they don't even have like toilet paper or soap or anything in the bathrooms. Sometimes I'd had a sanitizer in my purse just so because it's gross. But for the most part, to see how the importance of how life, just sort of the bacteria grows from nothing, is fascinating to me.
Is.
And to keep
we
it
don't
in
think
ecosystem.
of it like that. Yeah.
No. So here, so since I started to keep plants in my aquarium, I also see more algae, and then I have to like combat. But algae is a life form, right? And it will helps to feed and give oxygen, whatever. If you have too much algae, that's not a good thing. So it's always about
balance.
Everything in that aquarium is about balance. Sometimes you need to up this, sometimes you need to up something else, or down this and up that. And that's the same thing with the sourdough. Sometimes it needs a little bit more fresh flour, and sometimes a little bit less, and sometimes you can keep it longer. But it's almost indestructible. Once you have got a good sourdough starter going, it's pretty hard to kill it off, really. It's there.
But really, when it comes down to it, it's just like life. There is balance.
Yeah, and there's balance.
We all need balance.
And I find that, and why my loaf turns out fantastic one days and not, like not so good other days.
Maybe you weren't in balance.
Maybe I wasn't in balance.
Yeah.
Maybe I was impatient and didn't warm up the water to the exact temperature.
So
but
true.
But I like it. And for the most part, bread tastes good. It's
amazing.
It is healthier,
Amazing.
and I know I use nothing but organic flour, and
amazing.
that's what so it's not that bad for you.
No, it's amazing. It looks amazing. It tastes amazing, and you're gonna get a taste. You're gonna see a picture of it.
Yeah. Why don't I just show a little clip here on how I put my dough together? I want you to meet somebody. I want you to meet my little Betsy. She lives here inside this glass cabinet. Well, she spends half her time here and half her time in the fridge. This is Betsy. It's my little sourdough starter. I started this one in September, so she's fairly young, but oh my God, she's the best one I've ever had, actually. And I started it with organic spelt flour, and now when I feed her, I do half spelt and half organic all-purpose flour. And with this, I put my sourdough bread together. I have a dough here that has been, I put it together this morning and it has absolutely doubled in size. It's been proofing all day, and now I'm just going to shape it into a little loaf. Put it in this proofing basket and let it sit in the fridge overnight. And then tomorrow morning I'm going to bake it so it's fresh for when Suzanne is coming. Okay, come on out, don't be shy now. This particular sourdough loaf, I've decided to put a little bit of walnuts in as well. So that's the clumps that you might see. They're actually crushed walnuts in this loaf. Oh my gosh, look at that. It never ceased to amaze me, the fact that you can actually make bread out of nothing but flour and water. I'm just gonna fold it over itself a few times, not too much, so that I can shape it into a nice round little ball dough. There we go. And then I'm gonna put it over itself and shape it into a nice round little ball, and then it goes into the proofing basket. Created the smooth side is going to go down in the basket so that the rough side is up. That way. Poof. Gonna cover that now and let it sit in the fridge overnight, ready for bake tomorrow. Good morning. It is now the next day, and I have pulled out my dough from the fridge. It's been sitting in there all night, and ooh, I can see it has risen even further. Let's have a look and see. Trying to do this one-handed, but oh, look at that. That has grown overnight. And if you touch your dough like this, and it springs back like that, perfect. Time to bake. So, I've set my oven for 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Gosh, I don't know how much that is in Celsius, because I've forgotten. It's hot. Maybe around 225 or something like that, maybe. And inside the oven, I've already placed my Dutch oven, so that it's going to be blistering hot. I always like to dump my bread onto a piece of parchment paper like this, and I always spray the parchment paper with water. That way the dough won't stick to it, and it would also help to create a little bit of steam and moisture in the Dutch oven for a nice crispiness. You kind of want humidity in the oven. So that's what I do. And then, oh, this is going to be hard to do one-handed. I'm going to see if I can do this. I'm going to dump this upside down straight onto the paper, like so. And then, hopefully, I've put up enough flour in the bread basket so that it comes off. And in this case, there we go. So here I have my little dough, and I have my little razor blade, and I'm going to just put a couple of scores into this. It will help. And I usually like to just go quickly like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Voila. And then I'm just lifting this bad boy straight into, on the paper and everything, and I will put it into the very hot Dutch oven. So there he goes into the Dutch oven. I am going to spray a tiny bit more water on top of this. And then put the lid on. And then it's going to bake 20 minutes in the oven with the lid on. Ooh. And then 20 minutes off. And here we have the ready baked bread. It was in the oven for 20 minutes with the lid on and 20 minutes with the lid off. That is all for today. Until next time.
Don't forget to press the like button.
Subscribe.
Bye.
Bye. Sneeze. Där. I'm sneezing. Okay. Are we done? Are we ready? Okay. Okej. Och sen får vi sitta så vi kommer fram.
Nej, du kan inte.
Ursäkta. Susanne? Allergy. Okej.
Kan vi ta med det?
Jag låter som en bäver.
Men vi har med det.
Okay. So that is us. That again. That is it for today. I hope you enjoy. That is all we're. Good for you. Jag har fått nog nu. Okay.